Young master has been pushed to his limits countless times, yet he never gives up or runs away. But he still has a long way to go, but I can already see my king in him. Young master, the blade is controlling him. If you slice his arm off, to detach it from the host, the possession will not be in effect. Is that so? Well then, Suho said, using shadow summoning. This made the possessed Yongjun alert and hostile. As the three shadow wolves jumped to attack the possessed Yongjun, one even got a chance to bite down and hold the crimson blade. Suho was surprised since, after feeding the shadow warrior mana crystals, they were able to rise again. Indeed, shadow warriors are spiritual beings. They can recover from anything as long as they have mana to replenish from. Behold, that's the power of the shadows. The constant killing of the shadow wolves made some of them not recover quickly. Ah, Baru, what were you saying? Suho asked. This happens when you lack mana, young master. That's why, answered Beru with disappointment. I smell the scent of a shadow monarch, said the possessed Yongjun. These words triggered Suho's attention and battle instinct unconsciously. The bloodthirst from the crimson blade kept intensifying. How can such a lowly creature wield the power of the shadow monarch? Asked the possessed Yongjun. Wait, it can talk now, Baru? How dare a trash like you speak to the heir of the shadow monarch in an insolent manner? Do you wish to be annihilated? Beru shouted with rage. Heir of the shadow monarch, you say? I never thought we would ever meet here. Is it fate that you are the sworn enemy of the Monarch of Fangs? Shouted the Monarch of Fangs as he repelled Suho's dual blade throw attacks. Seeing his resilience, Suho used Commander's authority, launching some weapons on the ground towards the possessed Yongjun simultaneously, but his speed was so terrifying. He moved so quickly, dodging the attacks before they arrived, as if time had slowed down for him while blocking some of the projectiles. You were able to repel all 10 blades coming at once within an instant. That is why you have your name, Red. Absolutely terrifying. Well then, let's see if you can block the remaining weapons. Bring it on, heir of the Shadow Monarch. Bring it on, you weakling, shouted the possessed Yongjun. If the 10 projectiles did not work at all, let us see you repel all 60 weapons at once, said Suho, releasing all the weapons using Commander's authority. Possessed Yongjun, like a battle maniac, laughed while he entered into a frenzy, leaving mirages all over. It was as if there were 3 of him. All the swords were repelled and shattered when they came in contact with the crimson blade. Baru, seeing this, knew that Suho was born with the ability to use Commander's authority. All the goblin's weapons that came in contact shattered like glass. As if enraged by the petty tricks, the possessed Yongjun let out a battle cry as he charged towards Suho. Suho, with a dagger in hand, rushed towards him, but it was shattered in an instant, surprising him, not believing that the goblin weapon could be destroyed by such a subtle blow. This had Suho cornered as he was forced into the defensive, knowing that if one of those attacks landed on him, he would be dead, and the longer the fight extended, the worse it would get for him. Is that all you can do? Run like a little bitch? How long are you planning to hide behind your shadows? You just crossed the line, insulting my father like that, said Suho inwardly, knowing that the possessed Yongjun was trying to provoke him and lure him into fighting with rage. Hey, Baru, if I had a seal on me and I recall climbing a tower, where did my power go? Suho asked. The time you were an infant, your power was sealed, and you recently recovered it. But the power you had when you climbed the tower was enough to rival Edorim. But that power lies in a realm that is neither real nor a dream. It was a test for you to see if you could handle your talent passed down by your father. Whether you succeeded or not, the power was bound to disappear. Are you telling me all of it was just a game? Suho asked. It wasn't about power, but battle experience, young master. Try to remember how you felt back then, the last time you had thirst for combat. With deep focus, Suho began to remember how he used to feel at the tower, his thirst for combat, mostly thirsty for hand-to-hand combat when he used his gauntlets. Suho, recalling Beru's words that shadow warriors recover as long as there is mana, made him think about how Beru can change forms at will. If that's the case, then what I have in mind will work. Suho used shadow summoning, raising 2 wolves. Another one of your tricks. Heir of the Shadow Monarch? Haven't you learned your lesson with your weak, cheap tricks? The 2 shadow wolves came beside Suho, making the possessed Yongjun think they were ready to protect him. The shadow wolves began to change in shape. As Suho reached out his hands to each of the wolves, they began to gather around each of his arms. The possessed Yongjun excitedly thought he had caught Suho off guard and struck down at a terrifying speed. With a bloodthirsty smile, he thought he had killed Suho from that attack. But the possessed Yongjun was surprised since his attack was being blocked by something tough as steel. Using the shadow wolves as gauntlets, Suho was surprised and thanked the wolves for living up to their name as steel-fanged red wolves. By doing this, Suho's shadow extraction reached level 2. By reaching level 2 in shadow extraction, Suho could manipulate shadow warriors into different forms. Suho, with great force, was able to push back the Crimson Blade, and with newfound courage, he felt he could face the possessed Yongjun head-on. Instantly, he charged forward, exchanging blows with the possessed Yongjun. Baru was shocked by what he was seeing that Suho, even though not strong, was able to keep up with the possessed Yongjun in speed. My goodness, he has weaponized a shadow warrior. The Shadow Monarch has transcended all levels and stands at the pinnacle of shadow manipulation. But the young master isn't worth comparing, but a child of a king is always a king because he managed to break through to the next level of shadow authority all by himself. He is discovering skills before the system awards them to him. The battle instinct young master demonstrates, the way he wields the commander's authority like he was born to it, the absolute concentration to use a skill meant for destruction and chaos with such precision and accuracy, it is just outstanding. And the way he figured out how to use shadow authority by just recalling how he felt on the Netherworld Tower, he was able to acquire shadow authority level 2. My king, ruler of shadows, the protector of this universe, Master Sung Jin-Woo. Your little offspring that you cared for, to live a peaceful life far from danger and troubles and free from the care of death. That little one you sought to shield has grown up bigger, taller, and stronger. Even though you are far from him now, it is as if you had never left. The thirst for combat he possesses, the destructive nature in him, is as vigilant as you, my king. Your son and heir, Sung Suho, is truly a true prodigy.